So switch it over.
So now I just hit ingest.
Ingest. So switch it over. It works!
Oh, we were talking the whole time.
Well, what do you mean?
No, it doesn't.
Look at this. Do you guys notice anything? You guys notice anything different? Does anyone guess what's different about this live stream? That it's not in a garage? So we're at the skate park. We got a sweet IRL stream setup. So we can hopefully have a stable connection wherever we go. Now we can do these things out at the park, get questions from you guys, go answer them, come back, and hopefully the feedback is just a lot quicker. We've had a lot of fun doing just like those basic live streams in the garage, or just like with a whiteboard. But honestly, I think this is going to be absolutely next level, and the quality is so high already. I can't believe it. It is such a good, like, I'm watching with you guys because I'm so blown away that it's working.
Audio is great. Everything's great.
You guys want to meet Tyler? None of you guys have ever met Tyler. We'll see if we can convince him to turn the camera around. What's up, Spencer? Video looks good. Sweet. You guys want to learn transitions? So let's just go to the park, start getting some clips, and go from there. The only reason I'm looking at my phone is just reading from you guys. Asking again for getting over mental block and doing tricks. My brother practiced his manuals and ended up perfecting his bails. Sick. Okay, let's start over on the manual pad by that little tyke in the blue helmet, and we'll just go from there. This is awesome. This is awesome. Okay, kickflips, tray flips, transitions. You haven't announced the live stream on Skate School. That is because of the fact that this is a new setup. Can I show them the backpack?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got this backpack that has this fancy thing that's taking a bunch of cell phones networks and combining them to make it strong enough to run a live stream. Here's the batteries, and this is our first time doing it. So we didn't know if it was going to work. So we didn't really announce anything, because of the shame if it didn't work. So Ty, you can stand, I think you can stand right here. It's a pretty chill session. There's only a bunch of little scooter kids and like skate lessons going on. And I'm just gonna do some manuals, and then we'll answer some of the first questions. This, you guys are here for the warm-up this time. In YouTube videos, you don't get to see this part. Oh, first try too. This park opened like, what year is it? 2025, 2017. And it opened almost 10 years ago, and it was like the hot thing at the time. I mean, all the homies would meet here at 7 o'clock at night when the lights turned on, and it was like 45 degrees all at night down in this little valley, and we would just go so hard. Now it's like 5th tier skate park in the neighborhood. It's crazy. coudes really overshadowed it. How does it look like this far away? We gotta wait 7 seconds for the delay. That's deep, okay. So I'll try and keep it like, yeah. All right, let's do some manuals. Let's teach some manuals. You look pretty small. Okay. I'm so small. Part maintenance, sounds perfect. Can you do 360s? Okay, we'll touch on kickflips later. I just got here too, so I want to warm up. Back foot on shove-its. Small, rolling ollies. All right, so let's build manuals from scratch, because the first couple of questions are rolling ollies. There was one question about shove-it, struggling to get the back foot on. But I feel like manuals on a manual pad cover like all the important pieces of skateboarding. You gotta be moving forward. Gotta be able to get your timing of your ollie so you can get onto the ledge, holding the manual as balance. And then there's so much room for progression, because just falling off the edge compared to like actually ollieing is gonna be a lot different. So what I would like you guys to start with whenever you're dealing with an obstacle and you want to get up it really balanced, like, dude, if you're trying to ollie like this high, like, throw balance out the window, just yeet yourself onto it and hope for the best. But when it's small, what we can do, I always think about it like like my feet and my shoulders are meeting in the middle, right? Like Pac-Man chomping. Instead of just jumping and landing up on top of the manual pad, I imagine that I get tall and then I meet my feet in the middle so I can land soft and then stand up from there, right? So what you can learn is the ollie where you don't over jump. It's gonna be scary at first because you're gonna feel like, Richie, I'm trying to get onto this thing. Of course I gotta fly into the air. What if I hang up? But it's actually not the case. Not as much as you'd think. You just have to lift your feet high enough to clear the edge. Just like, you think about it like this. If you were gonna jump as low as you can, but clear the primo board up top. That's more like the ollie than a super box jump. Okay, that's on the way up. That'll help you keep your balance. That'll help you keep the board connected to your feet. It'll also teach you really good habits because it'll force you to get a stronger ollie, even though your jump is technically lower. Like, it's just better. It's just better. For the actual manual, which if you know me at all, it's my favorite part of skating. For the actual manual, what we want to do is learn how to shift the board forward, right? This is more how we're balanced on a manual than like this. And most people never really think about that. They think manuals are leaning back or shifting back, which that's completely natural. Like that just makes sense. But really, we want to keep our weight forward like we usually would while riding in a neutral stance, and just shift that board forward. So now that back truck is right in the middle of our stance. So then we can actually hold the nose in the air. If I pull the board backwards, that's going to push the nose down. I'm not really changing my actual balance. I'm just changing where that board is. Right, so for that Ollie, a great thing to practice would be Ollie and then shift that board forward. Like even too far. That's fine to practice that. What might happen at first, I've seen it happen a bunch, is you try to do that and then you land and slip out because your brain says, well, this is how I manual, and now I gotta also throw the board forward. We're just trying to isolate the board, keep yourself flat, even a little bit forward, learn how to throw it forward, land on the tail. So, if you can do that, you'll have an easier time getting up into manuals. Let's give it a shot. Yeah, and see if there's any questions. There's about a 10-second delay on the live. So, ask away now. And then we'll see. Square shoulders to your bolts. Square shoulders to your bolts. A little bit open. Okay, so should you be square or not? Who asked that? I forgot to read your name, sorry. Should you be square or not? So mostly depends on what you're looking for. You can be a little bit open. That's just fine. There's a lot of times where you gotta be in your manual and at least moderately open. Square is also fine. I like square just because you can go both directions. Closed off is very rare in a regular manual unless you're literally rotating backside out, which is really hard to do. Like, closing yourself out in a manual is basically fun, but so hard to hold, right? You see how as soon as I turn this way, then like you're just gonna fall out of it. But if you wanna do like a manual back 180, right, you're gonna have to start closing down. So I don't want you to think about square or open as a position you're holding throughout the manual. Like, oh, I better stay open or else I'm gonna fall, or I better stay square. Pick the direction that you want to be moving and just let it float. So what I mean is, I would rather you go from square towards open. See how I'm opening up a little bit in the manual? Now landing this way. I'd rather you go that direction than the other way. The reason that we want to pick a direction is because while you're manualing, you can't change your momentum. So if my shoulders are opening, it's not that easy to get your momentum going the other way. You see now my board starts turning. Like, it's just not really viable to change the direction of your momentum while you're in a manual. So if you start open and then go square, you're just gonna end up closed off at the end, and that's hard. So you have to think about balance in manuals as more like a boat in the ocean, or like you have nothing to push off of. So an object in motion is gonna stay in motion. So whatever you do on your pop right here, like, it's just gonna keep tracking. The cool part of lives is we just go on tangents. It's a day of tangents. Okay, more manual focus right now. More manual focus right now. Manual to kickflip. Okay. Okay. Manual kickflip. Let's do it. I'm not gonna do one because I'm still like not warmed up. I don't need to land primo at 5 minutes into a live. So, the thing about manual flip tricks in general is that when you're in the manual, you have to load up the trick, okay? This is something that comes from like a lot of practice and some experience, because you might not know the difference between just holding a manual and jumping and trying to flip it versus sitting in the manual and starting to load the board and starting to push on both of your feet in a way that makes the board want to flip. So when you're doing a manual flip, let's get the camera on the board and let's just start talking about how we're gonna load this thing up. So you're obviously balancing over the back trucks, but you want your back foot over a little bit on the toe side of the tail. What's gonna happen with your back foot over there is you're gonna immediately start turning towards this toe side, right? So we counter that by pushing on your front foot to hold the board flat. Okay, you can bring this up. There is a very nuanced thing in manuals where you're not just lifting your front foot in the air and trying to hold it. You're literally pushing on your front foot to keep the nose where you want it. Yes, you are pushing even though you're holding your nose in the air. That's a very different thing than most people do, right? Getting used to this will take time. Just holding it up in the air isn't really a viable manual strategy. So, for kickflips, right? You get that manual on that toe side rail, then you just push on your front foot to hold it flat. And now when you jump, it's just ready to flip. So it's a balance thing. It's not, you better have good kickflips, right? And you better have good manuals because that balance point is gonna be so specific. You're loading that pop by pushing on your front foot. Then if you want to jump higher, you have to push on your front foot, and then you got to start bending down and pushing. So now you can jump super high and get it to flip. So manual flip tricks are absolutely no joke. Will take a ton of practice, and you know the guys who are good at manual flip tricks are just really good skaters. Same thing for an ollie out, push, 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 jump. Let's make one of those. It's so hard to, I pointed myself into the ground. It's like push, 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 push. But now you can see it. I hope you could see what just happened there. How that front foot controlling the height of the nose in the manual so that nose stays close to the ground and then it's ready to go. I can't believe the quality is so good.
Incredible.
That's awesome. Oh, I got so excited. I don't know how to do that. We're gonna be working out technical difficulties throughout, so just bear with us. This is our first time here. Quality is amazing. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. You don't even know how much we're gonna do this. You guys are gonna know me very well.
It's an unfortunate side effect.
By the end of this. Yeah, I'm sorry. You're gonna know everything about me. Wait till we have Brock, because it's just Tyler and I here right now. Wait till we have Brock shooting YouTube videos. Like, we're shooting a YouTube video. This is running, also answering questions. Brock and I are arguing about the angle or what tip is better. Then we have to ask you guys which tip is better. That goes in the YouTube. It's gonna be a lot of fun. How can you ollie higher? Hang-ups, just getting onto the manual pad is the biggest hurdle. So let's move over right here, and we're gonna just focus on getting onto the manual pad. You can point it at the ground. I don't really know. We got a bigger delay now than earlier, and I don't know if that's chat. I think there's a fair delay, but we could for sure dual stream this. This quality is next level. All right, so what does it mean to clear a step up? Right, I feel like it's misunderstood the fact that if your nose gets this high, all you have to do is get your tail the same height and you clear it. Newer skaters struggle getting their tail up, so they think that their ollie has to be this high to get up onto the thing. And that's true if you can't lift your tail in the air. Like, yeah, if I'm just gonna ollie like that, I have to jump so high to get the tail up. But in reality, the height of the ollie is set by the nose. So you're ollieing this high to get onto a thing that is, I don't know, 1 foot high. So I just want you guys to practice getting your tail in the air. We do that a couple of different ways. There's a bunch of drills that we can use, and they're all different for everybody. So like, you'll see a lot of tips on our channel. It's like, do this to fix your ollies. Usually each one is speaking to like one major problem. And so like some people have like a really weak front foot. Some people just like never use their front foot to flatten out the board. So you got to get this circular motion going. Some people tend to push their back foot forward when they pop. That's just gonna make the tail, you can hear it. It's just gonna make the tail drag on the ground. Doesn't matter how high you're jumping, your tail's gonna stay low because it's shooting forward. So we can take our back foot and send it backwards, because then our front foot will be there to catch the nose and lift the tail up, right? So you get that circular motion with your front foot, and you get that backwards motion with your back foot. Boom. I want to see if I can get up there. It works. So, should essentially be able to do that with your feet. The lowest you can ollie and still get up the thing safely is the height that you should ollie. That takes touch. You're gonna mess it up. You're gonna hang up every once in a while. Sort of comes with the territory, because you generally don't want to be over ollieing and stomping down on the manual pad, because like you're trying to manual, imagine jumping off of something this high and landing in a manual. Like, that's hard. You don't want to do that. You all good? Imagine jumping off of something this high and landing in a manual. Like, that would suck. That's what's happening when you jump too high up the manual pad. So we keep that landing nice and soft. Keep that ollie nice and small and land there. Another thing, if you want to adjust the height of your ollies in a keep it stupid simple kind of way, a low ollie, you keep your front foot up closer to the nose, and a higher ollie, you bring it down. So what you can do is build your feel for, okay, this manual pad specifically is a little bit lower on the right corner than on the left corner. And also this seam right here, this is uphill, and then it switches to downhill as the concrete changes color. So I like ollieing off of the uphill on the lowest part. So when I'm there, I can cover the 2 bolts up front pretty easily, and that's a comfortable height for the ollie, for the manual for me. If I'm coming from this side, it's noticeably taller. I'm gonna drop my foot down so I can see all 4 bolts. There's like little cues like that you can use to control your height. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if it's the same with kickflips. Yeah, it is. Yeah, if you're gonna kickflip up something high, you just keep it low. If you need more control and you wanna keep your flip lower, you can get your front foot higher. Dude, that ollie fake manual was next level. Johnny Shires, what are you talking about? Ollie fake manual. I didn't do any fakey manuals. Huh. Just got back. Not your ordinary dad, what's up? What's up, Crown? What exercise can help me maximize board feel, board control, board confidence, like from tricks backwards to holding your board at your feet, tricking over big stairs? So we just dropped like a ton of programs on our website that are like built to build board control. They're not as much focused around tricks. Do you want to give him the link, or do you want me to?
Probably you.
Okay, so I'm gonna drop the link to our Essentials program.
If you hit training programs on the website,
Yeah.
then you can use that link, and it's all programs.
Okay, I already had the
Oh, okay, yeah, all good.
the
Yeah, whatever you want.
yeah. So Crown. The thing is, what I like about the Essentials program is it's not geared towards any specific trick. It's like a lot of times when you get skate tips, it's not the lowest hanging fruit. Like even when we did manuals, it's like, yeah, ollie, shift your board forward, push on your front foot while you're holding your manual, it'll change your life. The odds are you guys at home are gonna struggle with some of those tips because they're just 1 or 2 steps ahead of where you are. So what we did was took each thing you're supposed to do, like for instance, ollie and shift the board forward, and broke it down into even smaller tips, so you can actually go out on day 1 and do drills that show you the full basics of what that will feel like, and then kind of baby step you there. And by the end, I mean, we've been seeing, our group is going crazy. Like, I'm not gonna lie, our group was going insane. Like, we started it, and I swear nobody, like, I swear, like, nobody could ollie. And we were doing video reviews and all this coaching, and then we dropped these programs, and like months later we're getting submissions that are like nollies and 180s and switch ollies and manual pads and like pushing faster. It's just like, it has been insane to see that when you focus on the kind of the gray area of progression between, oh, do you want this? Sorry. The gray area of progression between tricks. That it like really, really, really fully helps the actual tricks that you want to do. Foot speed and accuracy. Yeah, so foot speed and accuracy. What does that mean? Are you talking about foot position and speed while skating? Or are you talking about like foot speed and like kickflips, like kicking kickflips harder? Because that might not even be the problem. I doubt that's the problem. I doubt your problem is you're not kicking hard enough on your kickflips. I would bet money that that's not the problem. I want to let you know you're a very inspirational person. You should be proud of yourself. Greetings from Colorado. Thank you, Breed. I really appreciate that. I'm proud of the whole team. I have just the other day I was coaching a student. We did like 10 hours or something over the last couple weeks, and the little girl, she asked for my autograph at the end, and I was just like, no way. We've been hanging out for like weeks doing like skating together every day, and then she's like, once the coaching's over and it's like not so serious, she's like, will you sign my helmet? And that moment just like blows me away. That, I don't know, I feel like what we're doing is genuinely making a big impact. Like I remember being 12, 13 and like meeting pros and learning something from them, and it just like changed my life entirely. Like I still remember like Bob Burnquist being like telling me he's doing a switch cab heel, and I'm like, that's not a real trick, and he's like, yeah, but it's easier to think about it like that, and I'm just like thought about it every day since. Or Bucky being like, just pretend like the wall never ends, do a big kick turn. Or Lincoln Ueda, it's like I am not even ready to switch places, like to be the one that the kids are like looking up to is just, it's such a trip to me. Hey, thanks Juan, I appreciate that. 199 sent a sticker. Legit do want to get a lesson, but I can't afford the trip to California. That's all good, Ender. We also do travel a lot, and we also do have that school group, and we have a lot of programs on our website. It's like you can still learn like a lot of things that will really help you that we teach. You don't have to drop thousands on a flight or hotel or anything like that. Stephen Boyd, he met me when I was 8 at Bothell Skate Park. Anyone from Washington in here? I grew up in Kirkland. We're not skating vert right now. Jerry Hasu plays Fortnite with you? I'm genuinely jealous. Let's get those back foot on for shove-its. How about that? So, shove-its are a tricky one, and I'm not gonna lie, it's been very difficult to teach flip tricks, because the thing that I do on every trick is really hard to do as a newer skater, but I learned so young that I think I have a different connection to the board than like a lot of you guys will. So what I do is jump really high and keep the board floating, and then I just float over it. So if I can just stay high, I can work my feet in the air and chase the board around. That is terrifying for most people, right? You don't want to feel like you're high in the air and then something bad can happen. So it's been hard for me to teach all these flip tricks. So I'm like, yeah, just throw the board out in front of you, float over it, chase it down, you'll be good. But what I've found is practicing just landing on the board is the hard part. Most people can spin it around, actually. Very, very, very new skaters can get the board spinning or even flipping in all sorts of ways. It's landing on it that's impossible. Hey, did you figure out that switch?
No.
Were you able to flip it?
I might need your phone.
Here, you do that. Yeah, we'll just keep it safe. So, when it comes to actually landing on the board, we can do, there's like 3 or 4 main drills. And the easiest one would just be jumping onto the board and landing in a foot position that you can ollie from. Right? The reason we want to ollie from that foot position is because we're landing on the board in a deliberate way. If you just jump and land on it, that's fine, but that's not really going to help you when your board is flipping and spinning and you have to chase it down and learn how to really control your feet. Okay? The next thing would be to jump and do 1 foot first. This is really how shove-its are going to come in. This was a drill that was recommended by one of our top members in our group. And it really helped because everyone that started practicing it started to get more comfortable in this position with shove-its. Then as you push that further, you can just kick yourself in the butt as you land down, because now you're getting the takeoff and the landing all in one. Right? So sometimes when I don't know your actual skill level, like, can you, I don't know if you can spin the board, I don't know like if you can ollie or jump high, but if you're just struggling with the landing, this is golden. Kick yourself in the butt, land front foot first, and then if you can ollie from that position, you are cruising. I do want to touch on rolling now, rolling shove-its. So, let's go up here. So, did you figure it out? Let's go up here so we can skate away from the fence so you guys can see like down the line. This quarter pipe is like, this is the taco in the corner. When this park opened, do you know how many hours I spent just trying random tricks on that thing? Okay, so you can come stand over here and film like away. And what we're gonna show is that when you land, rarely you'll be going perfectly straight. And I don't even think that should be your goal. I actually would advise you to land in a small heel side turn. That to me is perfect balance. Because what that shows me is that you're comfortable getting your front foot on with your heel off the heel side rail. This is a really balanced position. If you're uncomfortable off that heel side rail, a lot of issues start to pop in really quickly. Even on the takeoff. If you're too far over here, it's hard to predict how far the board is going to track towards your toes when you jump. If you squat down and you falling forward, right, you just can't save it from over there. So we can work on that drill we were doing where you just jump on the board and kick your butt and skate away heel side with a tight foot position. And that will simulate your shove-it landings a lot better than whatever you're doing now. That I really like, and that's easy to solve. Once you get that down, you should be able to straighten it out pretty quickly. As far as like 1 foot catches, 1 foot landings, I wouldn't worry about it. Everybody likes a 1 foot this, 1 foot that. I think it's overplayed, and I think you should focus on, I mean, the trick with the best style is the one you roll away from. So you can slow down, you can soften your back leg and just let it drop slower. That'll make the catch more front foot heavy. But like, if it's not natural for you to get super like wide, I just don't think it's that important. Like, you can take your back foot and get it like during your pop, like we were talking earlier for the ollies. When you pop, you can push your back foot backwards. You can do that on your shove-its too, and that'll isolate your front foot a little better. I've never been comfortable with that, but if you find that more natural, then it's like, what are we even talking about? Okay, can I get chat back? Holy smokes, 350 in here? Hey guys. Imagine if there were 350 people at the skate park watching. That would be so many people. I would be like more nervous than I am now, even though you guys are all there. What does it mean when they say don't? Oh, okay. Okay, wait. Are we having audio problems?
It's only left mic.
Oh, it's only left ear?
Yeah. Remember we had that weird setting?
Yeah, I thought I fixed that. We'll get both headphones working next time. It's our first time, and our tech guy is snowboarding in Switzerland, probably. What does it mean when they say don't flick down? How do we flick up then? That's a great question. And this is something that is probably hard to figure out on your own. So I respect that. All right. We're talking about kickflips now. Just ignore the lack of transition. It's not only aiming your kick higher or lower. It's really easy to cover your front bolts when you're setting up for your kick flips. You want to throw yourself at it, and then that kick goes to the ground so you can stand on your leg. Okay, if that's where you're at, kicking up might look like this, and that's not going to feel very makeable, because if you shoot your back foot onto the board, you're just looping out. We can fix that. We can definitely fix that. Let me check one more thing real quick. Bear with me. I don't know if that works, if that ruined anything. Okay, we're here. So, wow, 375. You guys are crazy. There's a lot of people in here. We don't have memberships available or anything like that, but I appreciate you guys just coming and hanging. So, all right, we start here. You cover the front trucks, you kick at the ground, and then you're like, oh, but Mitchie said kick up into the air. So let's get ourselves more neutral relative to the ground. So we're not leaning too far forward or backwards, and we're not kicking up or down. All right, let's just basically forget everything you know about kickflips. Wait till you hear about kickflip. We want this motion. We want this circular motion with the front foot, right? So we power up the kickflip back here, And then when it swings through, this knee actually continues to go up. So your kicking motion is going to be the same, but instead of shooting your knee down to the ground, we're just going to pick the knee up as we kick. Okay, that's what it means to kick up into the air. I know it's very confusing because it's not like sitting back and, you know, trying to ring the bell. It's getting here to that position you already probably know. If you don't know it like physically, you probably know it intuitively. And then lift that knee as the foot kicks. That is something that I only learned because I skate vert. And vert ramps are so big and you have to move so slow. And I was trying like 8-foot backside flips, like no grab. And I kept kicking too fast. And when I tried to slow it down, my motion sucked because I had to move so slow that I actually had to know what I was doing to do it. Once I got here, all I had to do was just slowly lift this knee into position. And that brought that front foot through the nose nicely. And that board just started rolling over. And I had so much time in the air that was always more than enough power. On flat ground, sometimes I kick harder out of desperation and bad habits. But generally, you really don't have to. Like, if you're just getting to that position and lifting that knee, that energy's there. If you can get your board to flip halfway, you have enough for a kickflip. All I want you to do is try different things to add power. Jump higher. You can move your back foot backwards faster. You can practice that thing we mentioned in our last reel, where you hold that manual, where you hold that tension a little bit better in the kickflip before you pop. I was saying earlier that, like, I doubt the problem. I mean, I would bet on it. The problem isn't you're not kicking hard enough. There's somewhere that it's breaking down. Be lazier. Like, I swear to God, just be lazier. Find an easier way to do it. Don't use all your energy on every single kickflip. It's just not sustainable. And I don't think it's that fun trying super, super, super hard to just get the board to roll over. I think you should find the easiest way to do it and then learn how to perfect that. So then you enjoy skateboarding. W radio OG. Is the circular motion with the front leg the same as the Ollie? Okay. Let's do some experimenting. So if I go big circle, big boy circles with the front leg on the Ollie, I actually notice that I have to push my back foot backwards through the pop more. That one felt way better. But to do that, I gotta square off a little bit. So if I get too far forward, I have a harder time getting my back foot to move the direction I want, even though I'm just focused on my front foot. I love lives because I can just talk about everything. All right, so when I'm thinking about big circular boy, I'm just taking this nose. I'm feeling like I'm taking this nose and I'm pulling it towards me. Whew, this way, through my back foot and through my front foot. I'm trying to essentially hit myself in the hip with my, on the inside of my hip with my nose. And I'm doing that by pulling that front foot into position. The faster I bring my front foot, the faster I pull my nose towards my hip, push my back foot away, the more the tail comes up, the more pressure I have on the board underneath me. I don't feel like I have to jump as high, and I feel like the overall, like if we had the numbers on an Ollie, I'd be like those are the numbers we're looking for, right? We want this much pressure up against the feet at the top. We want, like, you're not losing any pop because of your technique, blah, blah, blah. For kickflips, if I pull the nose towards me, I actually haven't, I mean, I haven't practiced that. I didn't just have an answer for you straight off. The question was, is that circular motion the same for kickflips as for ollies? And I just think you have more room in ollies because you can change the shape of your ollies so much where it's harder to change the shape of your kickflips. Well, got on battery. Do you need me to take something for a minute? It's harder to change the shape of your kickflips because, like, if you pull that nose way in, now it's back there. So you're gonna have to, like, adjust your flick. So it's different for everybody. I think you should have 20 different ollies. You should be able to bounce your tail. You should be able to lean it back. Like, you should have every ollie because they're just too useful. And find a kickflip that works for you and then use it and abuse it. So, same, but different. 400 people watching. Yeah, I mean 396 now, whoever left. That's just, we'll have a talk later. Can you teach how to do a really good pop shove? We just spent some time on shoves, so. How do you need to be at hippie jumps to move on to lifting the front foot? There isn't like can you land them safely? Give it a shot. Like, we don't want you lifting your front foot and jumping and then landing and looping out, right? If you're not gonna loop out and you can land with your feet in a bunch of different places, you know how to skate forward, like, it's a game of safety. If you get hurt, you have to take weeks off. You can't make up that time. So if you take 3 weeks off because of an injury, you're just better off learning one thing that takes you 3 weeks to learn it, because that's faster. Because now took a 3-week break, and now when you start, you have to start over. So you really lose 6 weeks. It's like, then we're old. I have a beard now. How to carve bowls. We're gonna head over to the bowl pretty soon. 416 watching.
Crazy.
So,
Crazy.
Here we are. W streamer, follow, subscribe, sub. If you guys aren't subbed to the channel, now's the time. How do I start landing kickflips if I can flick good enough already? Sounds like you need someone to tell you to land it. How do you do good heel flip, board setup? Is there a good way to get more comfortable at jumping with hippie jumps, body varials, stuff like that? I'm a huge fan of hippie jumps. I'm on the new, I don't know if you guys are, but I'm on the New Skaters Reddit page. A ghost. I'm a ghost in the shadows. I've never said anything.
A ghost and in the shadows.
Holy, yeah, that's a lot.
Can't see anything.
I've never seen the page. And there's like some arguments between new skaters. That's funny, a ghost in the shadows. Just pick one. What are you trying too hard? You were born in the darkness. What's the...
We're born in it. Molded by it.
All right. I wish I remembered what we were talking about. New skater, Reddit, hippie jumps. Everyone's saying, like, everyone thinks hippie jumps help when they really don't, when they don't know what they're doing. And then you got people trying ollies who don't know how to ollie. So there is a great way to ease through hippie jumps and into ollies. Neither thing has all the answers. I don't have every single student do hippie jumps. I also don't have every single student do ollies. So it's a very case-by-case situation where if your jump sucks, and you got like a really weird thing going on when you're leaving the board, we're gonna take out the Ollie, because oftentimes your jump gets weird because you're trying to bring the board into the air. And obviously that doesn't work, or you wouldn't be here watching this stream. The reason we moved to hippie jumps is to stabilize the bottom of the squat and learn how to push off of the ground. If new skaters could do that, if you could learn 5 or 6 things at once, we'd just go straight to that. But that's not how our brains work. We have to learn one thing at a time. So if you're struggling with your balance in your Ollies, then we move to hippie jumps. If you're just struggling with something like getting your tail in the air, then we work on that back foot motion or that front foot motion. So it's really dependent on like what your issue is. But hippie jumps do work. I mean, I'll die on that hill. I'll die on every hill. I am also terrified of hippie jumps. Then that's what you should practice. If you're like, man, I just want to get straight to Ollies because hippie jumps are too scary, like I have some terrible news for you. That you're gonna have to. The answers are where you want to look the least. How Ollies change up banks. Yes, I can. I learned kickflips at 38 in the first year of skating. Thanks to Skate IQ and Mitchie. RH, you are nutty. That's insane. Nobody learns kickflips their first year. Front boards, nollies in Fallston. How to land in a manual. Harold Campos, you're just gonna click that rewind button to the beginning of the stream. Go watch the manual section. Come catch back up with us. Say what's up. Cephalon, you're the cutie patootie. Your tray flip video helped me land a clean tray, but it was on a penny board? How is that even? That's crazy. I need your tutorial for the penny board tray flips. I wish I didn't. The only thing I wish I just didn't have to look at a phone the whole time to read chat. I wish I had some like gaming goggles that had chat. Chat, can you order me goggles with chat in it?
That might be a thing.
That definitely should be a thing. Tips on backside heel flips, running starts, throwdowns. You want to get running starts? That's what we're gonna call them now. By the way, they're no longer throwdowns. We're calling them running starts. Let's do Ollies up banks, how they change up banks. We're gonna go use this one, I think. Yeah, we can do that. So Ty, you can stand here and we'll go up the bank this way.
Sit.
Yeah. So, first of all, if you're going up a bank and doing an Ollie, you first need your Ollies down. I know it might seem like it's easier to get in the air and all these things, so maybe learn Ollies up banks. I vote you get a clean Ollie on flat ground, and then we move it to the transition so we can focus on other more important things. Tip number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is get low in the flat bottom. I cannot overstate how much your life will improve. Your grades will get better, your sleep will get better, you'll have better relationships, she'll call you back if you get low in the flat bottom. Because then, as you're going up the bank, now you can be standing up. You can be essentially jumping the whole time. Then you leave the ground at the top. Almost everybody stands up too tall, bends down in the bank to try and jump. And what that does it slows your board down. So your board will start rolling slower, than your upper body will start falling forward. And then you get crushed up into the bank. And then when you try to jump, it's such a high jump and your speed is unpredictable because you're anti-pumping. See how much speed I lost? That's genuinely hard. That is actually hard to stay balanced. Where if you get low in the flat bottom, now we have more forward speed. We have a more consistent speed the whole time. We basically made it feel like a flat ground ollie, but now we got all this free height from the bank. As you go to kickflips or bump to bars or anything that's more complicated than just an ollie up a bank, you will be very thankful that you got low in the flat bottom and you pumped up the transition. Transitions are much like jumping on a trampoline, right? You know how when you jump on a trampoline, when you go down, that whole thing loads, and then as that trampoline's coming up, you're also standing up. Then you release from the ground. And you're floating, and then it launches you up into the air. So we need to think about that landing of the trampoline would happen down here in the flat bottom. And now everything is coming up and off of the ground now. It's a little counterintuitive, I think, because obviously we got a lot of people out there trying to crush themselves into the bank. That is the same thing. That is the same thing as doing that thing where you kill your jump on the trampoline. If you've never jumped on a trampoline before, go find a trampoline.
Step by step.
Jump on it a couple of times, bro. I told a student when I first started coaching, I was like, hey, so have you ever done a layup before? Playing basketball? I was like, nope. I was like, what? What? An American guy too, like, we play basketball. W penny board, she isn't there forever. Do more risky stuff than throwdowns. No, it's running starts now. Mikester. Hey Mikester, it's running starts. Thank you, Paul. No, you have the best breakdowns. How to keep pushing while going up and down hills. Okay, so when you're going down a hill, pushing is going to be quite tricky. I feel like going up a hill is like, you could just try that because you're just going to be losing speed the whole time, so it's not that dangerous. The reason you'd get a tip going down a hill is because it gets wildly dangerous very quickly. The hip hinge, the hip hinge, the hip hinge, the hip hinge. Your big problem, if you're pushing and you want to skate down a bank, and this happens all the time, that you don't want to put your feet on during going down the bank. So I'm going to do this switch because I'm very bad at it, and hopefully we'll get to show you a mistake. I'm going to try to do it right. This hip hinge right here, keeping your lead hip tucked underneath where your upper body can stay in, is the key. If I do this my strong way, I actually don't have to think about it, and there's like, I can do this down every bank, mid push. I can seriously pump off of one foot, and I couldn't tell you how, because that front foot is so strong on the board. But switch, I have to really focus on keeping this in and pushing into the ground to stay tall over it. The hard part about speed, okay, technically difficult is just being able to turn both directions at will while standing on one foot. Not the easiest thing. It's a little bit like juggling or doing, I don't know which one is harder. It's a little bit like technically difficult. But speed is also scary. So everybody turns stupid when you go fast because you can't breathe. And when you're standing still, you can think, okay, hip hinge, stay strong, push. When you're going fast, it's like, ah! That's it. That's the only thing going on in the head. A bit of habituation. Do it 50 times. Speed is just staying aggressive. Push back. Those transitions are going to push at you super hard. You just got to push back. Push back the push back. Jay, I think women are so pretty and it helps me skate. Yeah, you want slick tray flips. You can, that helps. Is it bad that I ditched kickflips for varials instead? Jay, you might have some problems. Walk the dog, please. I can't do hand plants. Yeah, who can? Why do I lose blunt to fakie every year? Like for a day? How do you lose it? Anthony, we're gonna have a conversation right now. How do you possibly lose a trick every year? When do you get it back? How long is it gone for? Is it just Christmas? It's funny. It's genuinely funny because I want to help you guys. That's why we're here. I go through Instagram winter. I go through Instagram comments. I go through the YouTube comments. I respond to so many things. But 75% of the questions I just can't answer because there's no context. It doesn't make sense. There's not very much like, it's not like a realistic goal. So like, I don't know why you lose blunts every winter. And I couldn't even guess. I couldn't guess. Is it like, there's so many ways that could happen. The weather is bad, so the indoor park sucks and you don't have one, and then it takes 2 months to get them back. It's like, maybe just be lighter on yourself. You didn't skate for a winter. I don't know. But when you guys are asking questions, if you want them answered, like, really think about your question from like, am I gonna understand? I know nothing about you besides this one sentence. That's the only thing I've ever seen about you. How do I get a good rotation on 180s? What? Matthias? 20 bucks. You have the best support system out there. I was wondering if you have any tips on a 360 backside revert on flat. I get stuck on the 180 when trying the full rotation. Keep thriving. So if you guys want an example of how to ask a question, just go talk to Matthias and he can teach you the ways. So let's look at 360 reverts backside on flat ground. You can sit here. We're going to use this flat ground. Look, Matthias just dropped a masterclass on question and asking. You're getting stuck at 180s, all right? So let's orient everyone in the class. Hello, my name is Mr. Brusco. The Skate IQ guy's out sick today, blah, blah, blah. We can do a backside 360 revert. We can do those fast. We can do those slow, right? A slow one will look more like a manual / like just sliding those front wheels around. The fast one we can just absolutely rip this thing around and just be spinning on a dime. You're getting stuck at 180. And I want to show you that that might not have anything to do with the speed of your spin. That might have something to do with your balance. If I'm on the toe side, haha, I can't spin anymore. If I'm initiating this 180 by throwing myself backwards this way, I also can't spin anymore. That is the equation right there that messes most people up. It's like, bro, I'm spinning and I'm ending up on my toe side, but then I try to fix it and I can't spin either. Can't rotate either way. This is gonna cost me 20 bucks to learn now. What I would recommend is you work on your balanced squat and wind up. What that means is when you squat down, your chest hinges forward, your hips fall back, and you're right over your board. You can rest your hands on your board and push off of it, right? And you can also wind up like this. You see how naturally it pushes me towards the heel side? My hip is way out over the heel side. It's not out here, which is the more common wind up, where this back hip shoots out, or just that upper body moves like this. We just want this front hip to find some space on the heel side, but that's happening through this motion of that bending the knees, hinging at the hips, aiming that chest forward. Boom. This sets you up more over the center of the board. If I'm just here, now all I have is, if I don't do that, the only thing I can do is lean off of it and lean back. So if I'm here, I go toes and then tail side, which you're not going to be able to rotate. So we can do back 180s by doing squat, hinge, wind up. I'm way over the center, and then I do that back 180. Okay? Then we do that back 180, straight into a heel side turn, kick turn. That is the genuine motion of a 360. Balanced wind up, heel side, heel side, heel side, heel side, heel side, heel side, kick turn. Okay? And then all we do is just make that a little bit faster and faster and faster. And then hold a manual a little bit. Right? If we do that back 180 and just hold that manual, well, it's gonna keep spinning, that's for sure. I forgot how fast. Right? So that's like, those are a bunch of ways to troubleshoot it. Right? And then you can just keep your front trucks closer to the ground to, when those front wheels are sliding, it's like a little bit of manual, and then I'm pushing the ball of my foot down at the ground. So I can slide that around. It's not that much weight on my front foot, right? That, if there was a scale under my front trucks, it's probably like 2 pounds. It's completely made up, but that's what it feels like. I think that'll help. Hey, how's it going? Troy?
I was like, oh shit.
Oh, that's great.
Thank you for everything.
No, thank you guys. Without you guys watching and supporting, it's been unreal. It's been unreal. Not me, that's for sure.
It's an inspiration though, bro. You inspire yourself.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. We're everywhere. We're everywhere. I face an issue to land a heel flip. Go look at Matthias's question. Keep up. Please help with my backside 50-50s on a down ledge. I have 10 out of 10 ollies. Right? We're going to roll with that. High floaty 50-50s on a ledge, 9 out of 10 tries. But when I approach a down ledge, I commit 1 out of 10 times. It must be a full moon for me to land it. Look at that. Another great question. humor, context, shade. Yeah, our live stream's huge.
It's insane.
Yeah, we have a lot of people in here watching. For our first, this is our first, like, okay, let's do a down ledge 50-50. So it's in the shade, so we'll be okay. You're gonna have to come over here. We'll be right here on this guy. Oh man. Viewer discretion is advised. There's gonna be some ants harmed in the making of this 50-50. Okay, so a lot of times when you're afraid of a ledge, you're afraid of the bail, obviously. To make sure we have a good bail, we're gonna follow the very simple set of rules that most tricks follow. When you bend down, make sure your hips go back a little bit, you hinge your upper body, you can let your arms hang in front of you. This will save you, even if the worst of the worst happens, as in your board starts sliding off this way, you're okay. If your hips come forward, you're absolutely screwed, to the point where I don't even want to show that example, because if my hips come forward and then my board shoots off, now I'm stuck over the ledge. So can you see the bail that makes you feel safe when you get on the ledge? Right? If you can see that, it's actually not as scary to just get into it. This whole idea, and I'm gonna say this, I'm taking the over on 2,000 in my, while we're running skate IQ. You wanna bend down with your chest right over the top of your skateboard. Right, you see how that puts me on the heel side a little bit? I don't wanna crush the mic. We're gonna lose some audio. You wanna bend down with your chest over your board. You see how far my hips roll back when I do that? This is nice. Everybody that's bending down like this is really doing themselves a massive disservice. Okay, so that's how you bend your hips. That keeps you safe. That keeps this overall structure safe. Now, we can isolate one truck at a time and make sure we lock in. So when you're actually ollieing onto it, don't just think about slamming into the 50-50 and trying to hold it. It's a very fluid motion, so you can land one truck at a time, very softly set down the other one. I prefer to land back trucks first, or if I do land both trucks at the same time, I'm still thinking, okay, towards the back truck instead of down, but a lot of times they do land at the same time. It's more of a feel versus real thing. Still makes me feel better, because if I do miss my front truck, that's okay, because I can hold this feeble for a second, or if I need to get out of it, it lets me. You only really run into trouble when you don't lock in the right way. So if you have good 50-50s, you have good ollies, and you're not worried like, how do I lock in? It's like, how do I commit? It's doing your 50-50 in a way where the bails are safe. So I'm gonna go do a 50-50 on the small ledge. You can stay there. I'm just gonna be tiny for a second. So you land both trucks at the same time, but I'm genuinely pushing into my back foot and holding my front foot really light. I like to feel like I'm leaning a little bit away from the ledge, but not with my hips. So I can be like this. So I can push my feet into it this way. That helps keep the wheels on. That should be pretty helpful. Nice grind, baby. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mind your business, dear. Yeah, Ed Zilber, the audio is only playing in the left ear.
Top of the list.
Yeah, we will get that. We will get that sorted. Do you feel pain in your knees? I am 39 years old. Every day I feel a little bit of pain somewhere. Overall, I'm pretty healthy though. I've actually taken quite good care of my body for my career. With that being said, ankles, knees, hips, wrists, shoulder, like, it's life, it's skateboarding. Yes, I feel pain. It's rare for someone such a master of their craft while being a brilliant teacher at the same time. Thank you, I appreciate that. I think that is, I don't know. I've always felt like understanding tricks was my strong suit. I feel like that's what got me pretty much everywhere. I'm distracted because like 20 people just showed up. Understanding tricks is what like took me so far, because I think there was like, I was told very young that like one of the things that they appreciated about my skating is that there was a knowing. When I'd land a trick, it wasn't like it came out of nowhere. You know, when some people land a trick and it's very like just hanging on for the ride, that's never really been my style. And so since I had that style of like standing on things in like pretty strong, I would ask question, how do you do that? How do you do that? And so I've always been answering and asking questions about tricks and stuff since I was just a little guy. That was always like my favorite part of skating. I actually am not a huge fan of like tricks. I've done a lot of them. I think the days of like the next trick, the next NBD being like the big thing that really matters in skateboarding, I think that's pretty much at the end of its road. Like style, culture, friends, fundamentals. Like I think these things are gonna start rising because everyone can do a lot of tricks. It's like not that unreal anymore. It's like in golf, everyone hits the ball 300 yards. Like, are you a fundamental? Are you good at your fundamentals? You're still a little guy. Ah, Harold, I'm blushing. Stand on business, basically. Yeah, I mean, let's go. Almost 400 likes. I don't even know what that means. What is a like in a live stream?
I don't know, but we just hit 400.
400 likes for a freestyle dance. Wrong site. What I love about your skate IQ demos makes me wish I hadn't missed out on skateboarding. Johnny, it's not too late. Go buy your deck. Go learn how to push. It's fun immediately. Like, you start moving and it's fun. Like, there's no delay between, like, those wheels rolling and you having the time of your life. Thumbs up. Yeah, let's get Johnny on a board. You're the best coach I've ever seen. Thank you, Sniper. More likes. You're seen in the algorithm. Wow. So this stream, we've done 3 or 4 streams ever. This is our first IRL stream, by the way. And there's 450 of you guys in here, which is 3x what we had in the other stream. And you guys are liking, and you guys are helping it grow. So I have a feeling if we do this consistently, if you guys would like that, that we can get this thing to grow pretty nicely. which this is my favorite thing to do ever. So that's a pretty good deal. Is that one? Hey, am I tripping? Did Thomas donate?
400 Mexico.
Okay. What is, I don't know what that means. I don't know what MX 400 means, but either way, thank you for the donation. How do you get Ollie into frontside 50-50 on a flat bar? I'm trying to lock heel side, but I'm terrified. I got a good Ollie. If it feels like I need to aim perfectly, I will die. Love what you're doing for the skateboard community. So crosslocks, it sounds like you can already crosslock on a frontside 50-50. If you can't, I would recommend that you do the frontside 50 in a crosslock and then start to play with that placement of your front trucks. Grinds aren't like a binary thing like that. It's not like, oh, you just do one or another. There's different situations where you're gonna have to put your front truck in different spots on the rail. That is the truth. If you do land in heel side and your hips come out and your board flips over, like, yeah, and it's gonna be like, it's not a good situation. But if you're bent over the right way and you can do crosslock or heel lock and kind of go back and forth between the two, you should be fine. You can always practice Feebles and Smith grinds and 5-0s. Feebles and Smith grinds to then practice your 5-0s, to then practice your double heel locks, because get into Feeble, then you stand it up. That is a great way to practice your 50s. So now that it's pretty busy over here, let's go over to the bowl. Let's go see what's up with the bowl. What's your mindset when it comes to pushing through fear? Hey, Marcus. Marcus Payne.
Yeah, it's Marcus.
Yeah, it's crazy. I struggle a lot with this, and I find myself not being able to push back, even if it's well within my limits. Oh, we just did what did you just did the frontside 50 heel lock. Pushing through fear is probably understanding that, like, baby steps are the everything you do has a baby step, and everything you do is like how to gain like belief in yourself that, like, while you're on the way to the trick, you actually have a chance to do it. I feel like a lot of times when people get scared, it's because they're trying something. They think the trick is something that it's not. They're abandoning the fact that, like, okay, let's say I'm scared to Ollie a 6-stair, but I'm good at Ollies and I can Ollie a 3-stair. And they think that Ollieing a 6-stair is like so much different than just Ollieing a 3-stair with another 3 stairs on it. So a lot of times you can play like this mental game that calms you down just by breaking it into smaller steps, focusing on what you can do, and just easing yourself into the actual trick. We're gonna skate a little bit of bowl. I'm just gonna pump around. Let's talk about some pumping, some grinds, and some like basic stuff. I actually might take the backpack for a second if to actually talk about some lines. But you can come stand here now, and then I'll just skate in circles. Will you check the audio? It is windy. All right, let's see. Are there any basic questions about bowls? The street section is so busy right now. Audio all good. Sick. If the board flips in a shove it, speed demon. All right, I gotta wait 10 seconds for the bowl questions to come through. Frontside kick turns and flyouts. Okay. So let's talk about frontside kick turns. So one thing that I always do with students is we skate quarter pipes sideways, because you can do this, right? You can go up a transition, turn a little bit frontside, and you're okay. Oh, I was only concerned with the...
I know, I'm just, now it's falling.
So if you can do a frontside kick turn on its easiest version, you could probably do one that's a little bit straighter and a little bit faster, right? And you're gonna find this point where it starts to feel uncomfortable. And where it feels uncomfortable, you can pause, slow down, and just really dial in on what your goal is. I would recommend that you pick your line on your way out and you just point at it. It's very low barrier to entry. So you take your front hand, you say, I want to go this way, and you just point the direction that you want to go and then try to line your board up with that. Once you get that down on a basic level, let me just let them know. Hey, if you want to take any laps, I'm happy to sub out.
I'm good for now.
Okay, just let me know. The problem that people have with frontside kick turns is they go straight up and down, and then they can't see around the corner, and they go, I can't do it. And it's like, yeah, because that's really hard to do when you can't see. So we'll just keep it as easy as possible. Keep pointing where you want to go, and you should be in good shape. Okay, let's talk about your eyes a little bit. Okay, oftentimes people try to look up and around to rotate because they feel like they want to lean backwards or want to do all sorts of things that really just don't exist, right? So if your eyes are tracking up and around, you're going to have a lot of trouble. Your eyes should pretty much always track alongside your board on this line, right? And if you want to go frontside, your eyes track along your board and then around the corner, right? And then your board lines back up with it. So we keep our eyes right on the transition the whole time, right? People have a really tough time with their eyes because they're always looking for horizons or straight down. And really, your eyes are just tracking very close to your board, just barely out in front, especially at this stage. You can let them go higher. Once you get the timing of how your eyes are working, you can really make those turns and pumps and all that a whole lot easier. Okay, so basically low barrier to entry, lowest barrier to entry possible. There is a frontside kick turn that you can do right now, first try. Go practice that one. If it's a little carve on the bottom of the transition, that's fine. You add speed, change your line, you'll be fine. Nobody. I just pull out my phone, I read the comments, then I reply to them. Also, how do you rotate board fully? So many shove it questions. We're gonna have to do a shove it. Oh, thanks. I'm gonna go grab my keys from the ledge. Someone said you left your keys on the ledge. Not the last time that's gonna happen.
Hey, Mitzi, I follow you on Instagram.
Yeah.
You're like the best.
Thank
So I'm
you.
a surf and skate coach. I teach surf skating.
Oh, that's
Completely
great.
Different, but
I really want to
I do want to
selfie
picture
with her.
So let's do it.
all right. Yeah, and she's my student. That's Kyla from Canada. You.
Okay.
All right.
That's
Dude, I
nice
totally
to meet
follow
you. That's great.
Likewise, man. Like the best advice. Even people ask, it's like, oh, what do I do? I can follow and make
Oh, you're well. Thank you.
Cute.
Thank you.
You know, my stuff is so different. It's just look at this.
I saw someone skating one of these at the TF, and I didn't know what it was.
It's a German brand. It has no resistance. I got sponsored by that company, Smooser, out of Australia. But just to get a pump, it's like this one little push, and then they just articulate. So it emulates surfing. So we go ball, turn.
That looks fun.
So that's kind of like just all the mechanics for surfing.
Can I have a try?
Yeah,
Can I try it?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, I got a bitchy Crisco on the board.
That's so. How does it not get wheel bite? German engineering. Huh. Ah. That thing's crazy. Do you skate the bowl in it?
Yeah, not real high.
Yeah?
I get high-speed wobbles. Sorry.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But yeah, we just teach. We stay at draw lines, so maybe go this high transition.
Okay.
Anything else, it's just, yeah, and it becomes a whole different physics and physics. So it really becomes about speed, but it's less about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Way.
I get what you're saying.
Oh man, well, good to meet you.
Yeah, you too. A week?
Oh, right on? Oh, you live here?
Oh, but I mean, we're gone next week.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, right on. I didn't know that. Dude, I
You get
post
swatted.
local surf magazine on local break. If you ever want to do an article,
Sure, yeah. I don't know. I've never seen it.
I'll give you a copy.
Yeah.
It's just that's my web thing, but yeah, we just feature local people that are in around the surf skating world. Mostly
Cool.
surfing.
Cool.
It's connected to it.
Sweet. Yeah, shoot me a message or something.
I'll reach out on Facebook or Instagram.
Thank you. Yeah.
Be local break. Cool.
Okay, so, yeah, don't dox yourself. No, thank you. No, thank you. Flyouts. Let's go on to flyouts because they're fun and very few skaters understand how to do them. So we're gonna go have Tyler stand right here. That spot's important, and I'm gonna go. I went the wrong way in the corner. I'll come out here. Okay. Let me click this guy in. That almost killed me. It's just gotta happen.
Keep an eye on it.
Okay, flyouts. Let's get one good one. All right, so something like that. The real key is that you have to jump. All right, so we're gonna think about it like this. When you do the actual flyout, let's say your hips get about this high. That is the center of your mass, that's the center of the air. From your hips, you'll pick your board up and you'll bring your upper body into it, okay? You see people reach down and grab melon or indie. So you'd think that you are reaching towards the ground on your way up. It's just not true at all. It's an optical illusion. We are jumping up off of this transition, up into the air, picking our feet up, picking our knees up, and then getting the grab up here. A great way to visualize this is you just stand, slight hinge at your hips, roll your shoulders forward, be super lazy, let your arms hang just above your knees. Lift your front foot as high as you can, get your knee way up, then you can grab all the grabs. If you notice, my hand is still at the height of about just above my knee. This is where all the grabs happen. This high, right? So when you're taking off, don't be afraid to stretch up and away from the board. Bring your feet up and get that grab at this ring. If you reach below your knees to get this grab, now you can't jump anymore. Now you're gonna lose speed, you're gonna lose your pump, you're gonna lose your pop. So we jump on the way up, and then you pick your feet up to get the grab. All right, so we're gonna go slow. I'm just gonna do a very slow, let's do one so I don't have to carve all the way around, because this goes straight into the wind. Oh, you're good, bud. You can ride. You can stand right here, and I'll just come out this way. So I'm coming straight at you, so you go that way. So I'm coming straight at you, so you go that way. So you have to extend and jump on the way out. That jumping motion is what lets you bring the board up into the air. So now we'll do the same thing. We'll just slowly lift the knees up. Right, you see that as they come up? That's where that grab will happen. It's so not down here. So now we'll pick a grab. Like, let's pick a mute grab. Extend, jump, slowly pick that board up. Very light grab. Okay, what I mean by light grab is we're either hooking that hand underneath the board and just putting a little bit of pressure there, just enough to hold it, or we're doing like fingertip grab. Avoid grabbing and pulling the board to your feet and getting all this pressure and tension. That'll make it a lot harder. So you guys ask away. Questions about flyouts, questions about grabs. I'm gonna take this 15 seconds to let the delay catch up so these questions come through. Grab my phone and then we'll answer the best ones. The stream's playing. You guys are watching the stream from right there.
Everybody wave.
And then wait like 10 seconds and it'll show up. That is great. How about a 7? You want me to teach you a 7 right now? James Haley. You funny guy. You're a funny guy. See you, dude. Nice to meet you guys. Have a good session. Feel like I can't get over the coping when flying out. Yes, yes, nice, 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 nice. All right, let's talk about jumping. All right, so how fast do you have to go to get out of a ramp? So let's go this fast. Just fast enough for a rock-to-fakie. But I'm gonna jump. More than enough speed to get out of the ramp. I know for a fact that you are not jumping, that you are collapsing, okay? Now we're gonna do the opposite, where I'm gonna go fast enough to do a flyout, but I'm gonna collapse instead. So, what is speed? You think that's air you're breathing? Speed. You think that's air you're getting? Don't worry about the pop. So, your starting speed is only that. It's only your starting speed. It will affect how high you're gonna go. Are they dropping dimes?
Somebody wrote, "She is the air that I breathe." Got me.
You guys are so down bad. She is the air that I breathe. Oh, struggling at 360 laser flip, late flip. Yeah, same, Daniel. Your starting speed when you're going to do a flyout is just that. So if you're going too fast, your flyouts will actually get lower because your fear goes up and then you're not pumping and it all gets ruined. So the slowest possible speed that you can go and do your trick is generally a good idea. The more you can be aggressive and have positive body language and pump and extend through the transition up onto the deck and skate away, that's a win. Going so fast that, whoa, you start to get scared and then you stay low and then your hands get under your knees and then you're trying to get your grab and you're in the air. And remember that question about commitment and fear and all that? That's what leads to all this unnecessary fear is you work your way up to your one step before a flyout, and then you're like, all right, let's add a bunch of speed and try a grab. It's like, all you have to do is go your rock-to-fakie speed and get a dialed pump where you are extending up. Extending is the wrong cue, and because that's what you're doing. You are extending, but you're pushing and jumping and lengthening and leading with your chest and floating over the coping. There's no pressure on my feet by the time my wheels hit the coping. They just bounce off, get stuck to the bottom of the feet, and then that's how you do flyouts. Frontside, keep going, Mitchie, this is amazing. Thank you, Matthias. I appreciate that. First live, 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 first live. This is great. You jump off the bottom of the transition. Well, let's get the timing of this jump right. So what happens if you jump too late? You'll push too much into the transition and you'll just bounce into the ramp. So you got to get low early and then start pushing in the flat bottom and finish jumping by like here, by like where my tail is on the ground, right? Most people actually start their squat closer to this spot, and that is I mean, that is so late. That is so late. Is it just making the board light by taking the weight off of it? That is most of it. That is just so much of the battle is jumping and making the board light and letting it bounce and running away from it so you can let it chase you. If you love her, let her go, Jay. That board will chase you into the air. I mean, that's, I'm not kidding by that. There is a meaning to that. Like, if I push too hard into the coping, that board runs away. Where if I jump and pick my feet up and let the board bounce, it'll chase me up into the air. So seriously, Jay, if you love her, let her go. She'll come back. Have you been to the Orcas Island skate park in Washington? Yes, I have been there. I keep hanging up my Rock-to-fakies. Ooh, any tips? Do I just need to hang on? Yeah, let's talk about some Rock-to-fakies. I'm gonna quickly make sure there's no, do a 900. Okay, Rock-to-fakies. Let's go back to the half pipe version. So, I did not expect this stream to be this big. That's crazy. I did not expect it to be this big. Oh, there's gonna be like 75 of you guys in here. Same time tomorrow? So, we want to do Rock-to-fakies, right? So we start with the pump. Pump up the wall. Every time, every trick, forever. You want a lap? You take a lap. Oh, I thought you were waiting to go. I thought you were waiting to take a run. No, it's just everyone watches Skate IQ. So, when we first started coming to skate parks to coach and film content, I mean, I'm getting cussed out by BMXers. I'm getting people telling me that coaching and skateboarding is for losers. I'm getting pissed off skaters while we're trying to get audio, we're trying to get voiceovers for a certain reel. And now we show up to a skate park and everyone just gets out of the way because they watch Skate IQ. Crazy world we live in. Rock-to-fakies. Extend up the wall. Get your pump first. Every trick you do, forever, get your pump. Then, we want the lowest hanging fruit that we can do already. So we pump, lift up the front truck just barely. Okay? Don't just be like, okay, Mitchie, I did it, what next? When it looks like this. Like, all right, I'm ready to move on. I mean, you'd be surprised. That's how people think, and it really blows my mind. Make sure it's 100% good, 100% balanced, so you can add speed and continue to do it. Then, once you're at a moderate height, I want you to do double tap. Ba ba, ba ba, pump, ba ba. Pump, ba ba. Then, as you're doing your ba ba, reach it forward more. So you reach your nose up way in front of you on this quarter pipe. Ba ba. Okay, long story short, we're gonna work our way up to the coping, and then we're gonna reach for it and do that double tap. Pump, reach, double. All right. Do it on something smaller than this because this is ridiculous to learn rocks on, but that's a general idea. You practice on banks, noping, whatever you want. How to tuck knee. Skip the bad track. Let's run tuck knees. Let's go back to flyouts. Look at that little rascal. Here. Easy. Look at that little rascal. He's like 4. Maybe younger. literally can't pump while rolling. Okay, tuck knees. What is a tuck knee? We're gonna do an indie grab where we grab around the knee. Okay, how do you get space to get around the knee? There's this very cool idea that if you lift your foot up in front of you, I'm gonna get on a knee because that is essentially the same thing as just picking my front foot up. Sorry, back foot. There is a straight line that I can go to grab here, right? And I want that to work in a straight line. I don't want you wrapping and leaning into it to get your grab. I simply want you to pick your back foot up high enough and then find that straight line to the grab. How do we get our back foot up high enough? First, we lead the way with our front foot by picking it up and bringing it a little bit to the inside. We bring our front foot up to the inside because when you pop, like look, if I'm standing on my board here, my back foot's on the tail, and I pop, look at where my nose goes, across my body. So that front foot has to come up to the inside. Then that back foot comes up as high as we can get it, just a little bit to the outside. So that's how we get the board up high enough to get that tuck knee motion. When you're in the ramp, if you want to lift your nose up, it's got to go this way, right? To get that same pop that you would get on flat ground. So I don't want you to think about lifting your front foot up into the air towards the sky. I want you to bring your front foot towards your own back shoulder. Because if we're on a different axis, we only have our own body as reference, and the board will always pop the same. So you lift your front foot up towards your back shoulder, and then you relax it and let it drop, and then you lift your back foot up as high as you can, and then you get the grab. Just a little one at the top, super light grab, right? Fingertip grabs. We don't want to grab and pull that board towards our feet because it just creates so much tension between your hand and your feet, and it's just, there's no reason. Keep everything relaxed. Fingertip grabs. Such a sick roast. Oh, W rascals. Richie uses thunders, right? Yeah, these are thunder. Jay, you take my breath away. We're gonna, yeah, these are thunders. I use indies on Mega Ramp when I used to skate Mega, I guess. That just slipped out. I'm probably never gonna ride one of those things again. How did show thunders in his setup video here? Yeah, these are the thunders. I changed my setup since my setup video because I've been skating a lot more street and park and testing out new gear. So maybe we can do an updated setup video that's dedicated towards street. I'm sure you guys would really like that. I can drop in, but I don't quite know how to mentally prepare for the second wall. What steps should I take to prepare for that? Should I just coast to flat wall? We're gonna use the long way. We're gonna go mini ramp the long way to explain this. You can actually go back to that spot on the island, sorry. So, what we want is consistent ground pressure between the walls, okay? Most people tend to bounce a lot in the flat bottom because they're trying to pump or something and they're just always bouncing, or they get so tall and so afraid that they lose their balance. So let's break this down step by step because I never take enough time to really explain it. you first want to feel the pressure of the first transition end entirely. Okay? I'm gonna draw the pressure with my hand. You're gonna feel pressure down into the wall, all the way into flat bottom, and then you'll briefly feel it release, and then you're back on the ground, and now you weigh 160 pounds again. Okay? G-forces, 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 floating, normal weight. When you are back to your normal weight, that's when I want you to take a partial squat and hold it. This is the key to flat bottom, holding right here. So you can just push. So when it's time to pump, you don't have to bounce and all this stuff. Okay, so you're gonna feel that pressure, pressure, release, hold it. Pressure, pressure, release, hold it. Okay? The reason that this is important is because when the transition gets closer together, your timing has to be really good. Release, down and up. Release, down and up. If you don't let it release on the way down, you end up squatting too early, and then it bounces you too late, right? Now your whole thing's messed up. So it is a very specific timing. But the fundamental skills are a pump down, a pump up, and a partial squat in the flat bottom. If you can get those things working together, you're gonna have a lot easier time when you gain speed, because that rhythm is built in. How do you do? 600 likes on a stream? I don't know what's good. I don't know what the metrics are. Do we have the biggest stream in the world? Probably. I don't watch YouTube streams that much. I'm more of a Twitch guy. We are gonna probably multicast onto Twitch. I expect the 20,000 people are on their way here right now that are all watching on Kick. I would go 900 miles. No. Okay. Dude, my hair is so curly. Ow. Favorite sandwich? Finally, we get the good questions.
That is a good question. What is your favorite sandwich?
I can't afford the lobster rolls. Does that count? That's pushing it.
I mean, this is like, is a hot dog a sandwich?
No, but is a lobster roll a hot dog?
It's on a hot dog bun.
It is on a hot dog bun.
So,
Because I have it once a year. Number 9.
Right when you lose your Blunt-to-fakies.
Whenever I lose my Blunt-to-fakies, I go get a lobster roll and they come back. Anthony?
Correlation or causation?
Anthony, that's what I want you to do. No, genuinely number 9, Mike's Way, at Jersey Mike's with all the oils. You can't get a giant because it gets so wet that you have to eat it all right away. Regular size with the jalapeno chips. I mean, it's all coming back to me. It's all coming back to me. I want one. Bolivia, that's what's up. I have my ollies down, but I have a problem with the board staying flat on my feet. Get a lot of times where I land primo or not in a straight line. That's actually, I think we can get that fixed. Explain front movement on fakie hang-ups. So we're gonna cover a lot of ollies here. We did a little bit of ollies throughout this stream already. So I want to keep the transition skating up for just a moment before we just decide what to do next based off of nothing. So we're gonna go right here, fakie handcuffs. What does the front foot do? So what does everything do? Let's just. So we have to jump. We have to move our back foot backwards, right? That is a very important part. Jump and move your back foot backwards. When your back foot moves this way, your front foot is also going to have to go. So when you ask what your front foot does, it comes up in the inside. Whenever we lift the board up, it is coming this way, okay? Because look, when that nose goes into the air, it goes this way. We're always pulling that nose towards us up to the inside because it's not really possible to lift it straight up in the air. If we lift it straight up, that board will end up in the flat bottom of the ramp. Right? Because that ends up just coming up and out here. So we gotta push and pull that thing towards us, and then it comes up and around. Right? There we go. And then that's how we throw it into the coping. We're jumping, then our front foot brings it back into place. Fakie hang-ups, baby. That's one of my favorite ones. I forget that all those tricks in between are like skating. I've been doing it for so long. Quick question for the live show. Thank you for the preface. What would we have done? I can fakie 360 flip very easily, but regular 360 flips don't work. This is a great concept we can touch on. Then you get back to work. This will be up very soon on YouTube, probably on our VOD channel, maybe here. We're working it out as we go. Can you show me how to do a respectable Ollie to fakie? They don't respect me, and it's because of my fakie Ollies. Wait, Ollie to fakie. Eee. I see your fear. Mikester, what's up, Mikester? Can we make this a regular thing? We definitely plan on it. I like live streaming. We can just talk to you guys all the time. That's crazy. We don't have a schedule. We didn't advertise this one because this is like just seriously a big test. We're like testing if everything works. It seems like it's working great. Besides, it's only in the left headphone, which is above our pay grade to fix. We need Brock. He'll be back soon. But we'll do this all the time. I love it. I want to do it all the time. How do you keep that curly hair looking so majestic in hot weather in the sweaty sessions? See, these are the kind of questions. This is what I'm talking about, guys. Keep them rolling. I use shampoo every couple of days. That's the truth. I don't know what you're supposed to do. I only used conditioner 2 nights ago. Just a split test. I've never done that. I've never only used conditioner. Seemed weird, so I wanted to try it. And then poof, my hair was so curly. And it's actually so long. I can't believe it. Skating. How do I get over the fear of hanging up on a Rock-to-fakie? We just covered Rock-to-fakies. Infinity. You can just rewind it up and go watch it there. Crazy throwback to a few Aikido sessions because your body movement's explaining. Looks like a dance, and it shows through your spins and flyouts, like a floating motion. Yeah, our bodies only move in a few ways. It's not rocket science. It's just hard to figure out how your body moves relative to the momentum that you need, right? It's not just a body position. It's not just a momentum. It's combining them together with all these nuances and your speed and the transition and what you're trying to get the board to do. I mean, it's stuff that's ingrained so deep that you can't possibly teach it. Not because it's impossible to teach, but that's also just not how people learn. Like, people learn by chasing a carrot on a stick and making small wins every step of the way, right? Like, it's so complicated that it's actually easier just to make sure you're pumping right, to make sure you understand the basic body movements, and then you just let it rip from there. And like, you just build on it very slowly, and more importantly, very safely. What's up, Game Breaker? Struggling a lot with kick flips, can't get the flick. Weird question, is there a way that we can bridge the idea or connect the idea of street skating versus transition skating? It just doesn't seem like as big of an issue anymore. Like, there was like it was like pretty culty way back when it was like street or vert, and now it's like everybody's so good that to be a pro or to have a career, like, you kind of have to be good at everything. Like, if you look at the park skaters, they can all skate vert, they're all okay at street. Like, I feel like the park skaters have to be good at everything. The street skaters get super streety, and some of the vert skaters get super verty. But I feel like that's because the vert skaters who are super verty can barely kickflip, and the street skaters who are super streety couldn't do like a backside air and knee slide. So they get like, well, I just don't do it because I don't like to. When, I mean, come on, backside airs are really fun, guys. So I think what would solve that is just like people being more willing to be curious and explore different kinds of skating and all this, which to each their own. How do you control the lock-in for backside 50s? Okay, a bunch of axle stall questions coming in. Can you teach us how to get a 90 revert to a power slide? Seems like such a big gap. Mountain bike PH. So we're gonna do a little bit of the power slides, and then we're gonna do some axle stalls. Let me think about. So power slides just have a lot to do with the ground. Like, this ground won't slide. The ground over in the street park, it's just like switches between slidable and not. So you have to have a pretty good like idea of what's going to slide, what wheels you have, all these things. The main thing that's important is that you initiate the power slide by unweighting and turning, meaning you are essentially floating into it. The reason that I like to have people practice 90-degree power slides on flat ground barely moving is because that forces you to unweight. When you're going super fast, for some reason people think, now you gotta like push into it more or something. Really, the thing is, you gotta go wicked fast, and you gotta get sideways, and then you gotta sit behind the board to the point where you would fall backwards if you weren't actually sliding on the board. So I would recommend that you just go to like an indoor skate park that has wood ramps and go Mach 2 or 3, and then just get sideways and sit behind it. And if your board shoots out, that's okay. Just try to avoid to put your hands down, maybe throw on a bunch of pads and butt pads, stay low, get used to that board sliding out in front of you. Because once you can get it out there, then all you gotta do is teeter over it, and you can explore. All right, let's touch on some axle stalls. So we're gonna have to have you come stand right here again. So let's break axle stalls into 2 separate sections, and then to make it, we'll meet in the middle. You start on the deck. This is so cool, guys. Listen up. Put your left earbud in, and listen up. Keep your weight on your front foot and slide your back truck out. Right? My weight is on my front foot. No cap. As I put weight on my back foot with my back truck out, it's gonna roll me in. okay? So we can use this to meter our balance and to have confidence that we can stay on the deck, right? Back foot, back foot, back foot, back foot, and then it starts. Okay. To get into axle stalls, we are gonna do the same thing we always do. Pump up the wall. Do a kick turn where we tap halfway. And then we're gonna bring that closer to the coping. And then we're gonna tap our front trucks on the coping. Then we're gonna do kick turns. Then we're gonna just tap our back trucks. And then we're gonna skip the middle, fly to the deck. Ease into it. Get our back truck out. And then we'll start over. Tap, tap, right? And the goal is to get comfortable getting to this middle zone where you're half in the ramp and half on the deck. When I take students through that progression, it takes 1 session, 3 sessions, 5 sessions. It really depends on the person. Generally, the older skaters who started skating transitions later, gonna take a bit longer. The kids who can afford to take some of those scarier, more awkward slams tend to learn them a bit faster. Overall, it's just scary to be on the coping in that halfway point where you're 45 degrees out over the ramp. And that's what we're going for. So cameraman needs to chill. He's talking so much. Are you in Australia right now? No, I'm in Carlsbad. Bruh. My heart rate is off the charts. Harold, is he gonna survive? Is Mitchie gonna survive the 50-50s? You should try out F51. Wait, we've heard of that. Maybe. I'm tripping. How do you deal with being burned out of skateboarding? The thing you love the most. What do you mean? What's your context? I'm not currently burned out on skateboarding. I have been in the past, many a times. So, I started skating when I was 3. I started competing when I was 5. I started skating vert when I was 6, and I started traveling a lot around then, and then turned pro when I was 13, and then now I'm 28. So I had 15 years of like super pro skating, and like 10 years of like traveling and competing before that. And so by the time I was 13 or 14, I was really burned out like once a year. I would just take 2 or 3 months off. Right after all the contests finished, I just wouldn't touch my board for like 3 or 4 months. Progressively, that got worse. Every year that got a little worse. I wanted to skate less. Then I just started skating to compete, and then I would just be like, oh, I just love competing. But really, it was like, I had to compete to keep paying rent. It was like this whole thing. Then when I did a 1260, and then COVID hit right after, I didn't touch my board for at least a year. Like, seriously. Did a 12, put my board down, played Fortnite for like a year, and then like didn't know if I was gonna get back into skating after the comps came up. I was just like really lost. Anyways, 2021 comes around, and I made myself promise, like, if I'm gonna skate again, I'm just really gonna do it for the right reasons for me. And like competing and trying to win is a great reason to skate. It's just like, does it make me happy? Is this sustainable? Like, I'm not talking about like just like morally the right reason. I'm saying like, does it work for my life? And dude, as soon as I got back on my board and just carved around, I was like, I loved it so much. I mean, I'm pretty obsessive overall, so like when I start doing something, I can't stop thinking about it. But that happened again right away. I was just thinking about skating all the time. I was waking up at like 5 or 6 a.m. It's kind of funny. I was drinking a coffee that's like this big, and I'll just have like sausages and sweet potatoes made from the night before. And I go to the park at like sunrise with the biggest coffee in the world and just skate for like 3 hours before anyone showed up. And it was sick. And the next games came around, went and got a bronze, and I was just like back in it. But I've maintained that skate passion and like chiller attitude about it ever since. And that 2021 after X Games was right when Tyler and I started Skate IQ. And then I got to start teaching and sharing a lot more, and it didn't feel like it was such like a lonesome endeavor. 'Cause, dude, just competing is pretty boring because you don't share it with anyone. It's like super lonely because you practice your tricks, you go make your tricks, they tell you that somebody beat you, and then you go do it again. And it's like weird. I don't get it. And then you're supposed to like somehow get a bunch of sponsors because it's like this really valuable thing. I just don't understand it. Like, it's weird because I've done it my whole life. And like I had a lot of sponsors at one point, but like I just don't see that inherent like value that I used to in the idea of just like train, compete, repeat, repeat. Compete and repeat. That's funny. So yeah, we started Skate IQ, I started helping people, I kept competing, like everything was more fun. And now this is the first year I'm taking off the comps. Just focus on, dude, if we could just go to the skate park and do this all the time and travel around and meet you guys and do meetups and like genuinely skate and genuinely like do cool stuff, I would love that. And the thing I love most about skating is manuals and ollies and carving and doing this. I can't do that in contests. Like, my toes hurt doing like varial flip McTwists and like switch fives, and it's just not what keeps me up at night anymore. I am an SD, Dr. Manuela. Ippolito! Gart. What's that? Mitchie, in 1 hour I will be at the skate park. My legs are so sore and I still want to skate. Yeah, super long warm up. Super long warm up. Like 20, 30 minutes. Just like surf it. Surf it. Okay, I honestly think that's like good for our first stream one. I thought that had a great vibe, great rhythm to it. All of our technical stuff worked great. Minus
the sound.
Minus the sound, but honestly, we knew about that and we just didn't fix it. I thought I fixed it. I changed it from mono to stereo. I thought that's what that was supposed to do. We'll be back. We don't have a schedule yet, but please be patient with us when we're coming up with our schedule. We're figuring out, like, we're gonna find what this stream is with your guys' help. So let's ease into it. Go on 9 Club. That's a great idea, Flowmaster. You should check out my episode from 2 weeks ago. Too many questions to list, but you tend to answer them at some point, so here's a super chat. Thank you, Marv. You're the man. Adam, I am in San Diego, and you can just always go check skateiq.com and book some private training. If our schedule's closed, which it is for the next little bit, because we're very busy with content and traveling, go check out our training programs. I'm gonna link them. I'm gonna link them right now. you already link it?
No, that was the link for the 9 Club video.
Okay. Here's a link to our training programs. Go check them out. They're going to be great for... They're good for all skill levels, and they really build your foundation so strong. Like, even if you do book coaching, this is the stuff we're going to go over first. So it is a good idea just to eat the frog, get it out of the way, and start working on it now. So then when we work together, we can like start taking step 2 and 3. 1260 tutorial when?
Missed it. Revert.
Oh, we forgot to do that.
I know. I realized it yesterday.
Okay. I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next stream. Go back to our most recent video, press like, save it, do a comment, then share it, and then go to our next video and do the same thing. Okay.